Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm building a house for a sad, loner vampire using just the base game in Vampires. Also, the day that I'm doing this voiceover, we just got the new September to December roadmap for the game. We're getting 2 new kits in 2 weeks, Grim Reaper, like, in-game thing, I guess. I'm assuming it's either going to be like the login rewards or it's going to be like one of those in-game events like the Easter egg and like the summer like festival concert type of thing. And then we also got new details on the expansion pack, which we already know the name of and the date of its release, along with when we are getting a first look at it, which is not really usual for the Sims team to do. I mean, normally we don't really know any of that information until like a trailer drops for it. But it's called Life and Death, and we're getting a first look in like just under a month on October 3rd. And then it comes out on Halloween, which I feel like was done on purpose considering the pack's theming. It's very Halloween, it's very spooky, but also, um, once again, the pack was leaked. Most like Mostly like every other pack that comes in The Sims gets leaked at some point. So I'm guessing the Sims team kind of had to make a fast decision whether they were just going to release all the info or if they were going to do what they normally do and pretend like the leak didn't happen and pretend like nobody really knows what kind of pack's coming out. But I feel like this time they just decided to release all the details on it. But I'm really excited for this new expansion pack. I mean, it's it's life and death. It's something new. It sounds like it's something different than the normal type of gameplay. I'm assuming the Grim Reaper is going to be expanded on in this game, in this expansion pack for the game. I'm definitely going to be playing with it and building with it. However, I don't know if I'll be playing with the kits because, like I've said in previous builds, I don't buy the kits unless they're free, because I just think that some of the stuff that comes in the packs, while they're like kind of niche and stuff, sometimes the packs seem like that they would go good with like other game packs, expansion packs, or like stuff packs and stuff. So I don't normally buy the kits. However, I do start my new job soon, so maybe I'll buy some packs, but that's kind of up in the air. I'll just have to see what I'm feeling like. But speaking of my new job, that means I'll be doing less voiceovers for my videos. They might just be set to some music. I'll have to find some like ambient music or whatever to put in the background because editing videos takes up a lot of time. Not only is it just like the filming aspect, but it's also editing the videos together and then doing the voiceover and then making sure the voiceover sounds good. It takes up a lot of time, and with my job, it's a normal like 9 to 5 job. So I don't know how much energy I'm going to have at the end of the day to sit down on my computer and edit and voiceover and stuff. Um, and it'll only be for like a little while, but I'll just have to see what kind of time I have and what I feel like doing. I mean, not a lot of people watch my videos now anyway, so it's not like it's going to make that big of a difference. Nobody's going to really notice if I'm kind of gone for a while, but I'll just have to see. I do really like doing this regardless of the views I get on my videos. Shout out to like the 2 people who watch my videos. um, but anyways, getting back to the build, as I said, this is a house for a sad, lonely vampire. I came up with this story that the vampire that's been living here, they've been living in seclusion for quite a long time. He was once married to the greatest love of his life. They met when they were vampires, like hundreds of years ago. They've been living on this plot of land ever since. They were happy. Everything was going great. But one day his wife spent a little too long in the sun and then she just kind of got a little crispy and burnt to death. So now she's buried out in the yard over in this corner over here. I put some lush grass down along with some rose bushes, which this isn't the only spot where I'm going to have this landscaping. I also, literally at the end of the video, I built a shrine, I guess, like a statue that he had made of his wife, and I put some more of this type of landscaping. But this is the only landscaping that the vampire wants to keep alive because roses were his wife's favorite flower. So he wants to keep those alive for her because she tended to roses, which is why there's a lot of big dead rose bushes around the lot. They used to be lively and stuff, along with like the dead trees and stuff. Basically, this entire lot just kind of went into decay after his wife died. So he spends just a lot of time in the house, doesn't really go out all that much. And since she's no longer here, not only has the landscaping gone worse, but so has the building, which is why that there's a lot of dead vines on it. There's a lot of cracks. There's a lot of water stains. There's a lot of tearing in the wallpaper. And also, I built like the pond on the left side of the house. It's not really that deep. I just imagine that it's just a bunch of standing water that's kind of collected there over the years. And it's got the leafy, gross water that has like the sticks and stuff floating in it. And it's also become home to a lot of mosquitoes. So I imagine that that is also what deters people from showing up here, along with the fact that this is a well-known vampire couple. They knew vampires lived here, so they didn't really want to approach the house. So I gave this lot the private dwelling trait, which means that only the most determined guests will show up to this lot. If the trait works how it's supposed to, nobody will show up here unless they absolutely have to show up. Again, though, this game is very bugged, so I don't know how well the private dwelling trait works. I probably should play with it a little bit to actually figure out if it does work. I put it on like a lot sometimes, and it's probably a trait that I should play with because does sound like an interesting trait. I wonder if like it deters the welcome wagon from showing up. I've never personally tried it, but here you can see on the inside I'm starting to add a lot of the cobwebs, the cracks, the tears in the wallpaper and stuff. The cobwebs, actually, some of them do have real spiders on them, especially the one over the stove and the one I put by the door. They have realistic spiders on them. And then I put I make the color scheme in here purple. I basically just used the default color for like all the vampire furniture and stuff. And the thing that I cut out of the video was, so the blackout curtains that I have on the right side wall there, I for some reason couldn't find the small wall height curtains. I could only find the big ones. So I made all of the walls in this house like really tall. And then when I went to go put the curtains down, I found the small wall height. So I literally just put all the walls back down. I had to cut that out of the video, along with why the video started where it did with the house shape already built. It took me forever to get this house in the shape that I wanted it to. It was actually maximum like small house, but because I put the ceiling tiles over the porches, it counted those tiles as rooms as well. So I had to take the tiny house lot trait off of this lot. So this lot is just base game and vampires. It doesn't have it doesn't require you to have tiny living. But here I am. I'm going to start furnishing or at least decorating the living space here in a second after I get all these candles put up, because I wanted the house to be like dimly lit. I didn't want it to be too bright. But I'm going to put a TV on this table over here, and I'm going to be putting a lot of books on the table over here. I imagined that this vampire, like immediately after his wife had died, he was going to do a lot of research to try and bring his wife back. But he could never find the cure for it. And I'm kind of making this video super depressing. It's not my intention. But ironically, this video just kind of lines up with the pack announcement that happened today. Life and death. this vampire is dead. Vampires are just dead human beings that just can't function normally and stuff. So, it kind of fits the theme of the pack release today. But I put some of the unlockable books underneath the table. I put the open journal like he was taking notes and stuff. But then it's just kind of been abandoned because he just never could find the cure. So he's abandoned his research and he's just content with living in seclusion and living by himself. We're going to be moving upstairs to the bedroom. Up here, I just put a coffin in here because I imagine that this is just going to be a bedroom space. And you can only access it by either cheating and teleporting your sim up there or having them mist / fly as a bat up into the attic space. You need to unlock that through like the vampire like trait tree thing that they gave this occult. But I just, like I said, wanted this to be a bedroom space. I imagine that these are like portraits of the vampires, couple that used to live here. And then over here in this window area, I was gonna put an instrument like the pipe organ or the piano, but they were just so big. It took up that entire space. So I got rid of them because it looked really bad and clunky. So in the end, I just add some chairs and a record player. I imagined that's where the vampire and his wife would sit and read together while listening to some music. And then up here, I added a lot of cracks, a lot of cobwebs, because he doesn't spend a lot of time up here. Even though his coffin is up here, this vampire just doesn't sleep unless he absolutely has to. He doesn't want to be up here because him and his wife spent so much time up here together, having fun, reading, laughing, talking to each other. That's just really painful for him to be up here, so he just doesn't spend a lot of time up here. Since I haven't played with vampires since this pack came out. It's been forever since I've played with vampires. When I went to make the vampire for this household, I kind of cheated a little bit. I used the UI cheats extension to cheat him to vampire master, and then I went through and I selected a lot of different traits and stuff for him. I didn't really see one that was like the vampire doesn't have to, I think there was one, maybe there was one, I'm not really 100% sure that there was one where like vampire didn't need to sleep, but I did give him the trait where or at least one of his, I guess one of the bad ones that you have to pick, because you have to pick like 5 bad vampire traits. I picked one of those, and I think it was like he has to sleep in a coffin, but I don't know if like vampires just can never sleep, but I imagine that this one he just never sleeps unless he like absolutely has to, like he was in a battle and he had to go to bed. But here we are, we're finishing up the build. I'm just gonna be adding a few more decorations. I had a dead bird skull and an urn and some roses in the corner over there in the kitchen. Without making this video more depressing than it already is, y'all can make up what you think is in that urn. I'm just going to be adding a few more things outside. I add a dining table. I add a telescope in the backyard. I add a bench. And then I'm going to be just dressing up the statue area out front with the roses and the flowers and the candles. But this is basically the end of the build. This is available on my gallery right now. Just look up Lissa Marie 23. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!